Hello, fellow humans. This video is on the early ginkgo trees. So, if you want something else and you want me to do it, leave a comment, hop on Discord, and let me know. So, I'll basically talk about some basics of the ginkgo tree, a little identification, not a true guide, mind you, but the Triassic, why there's so many fossils, what may have eaten them. This background is a picture of a ginkgo that I took in fall. Quickly to identify it, most of the year they got that classic unique shape, leaf shape. For the rest of the year, when you look at the branches, they got the little nubbins that stick out of the branch where the leaves grow out of. And the other one, and another way to help identify it is, and this works with a lot of trees, is there's two types of branching. You have alternating and opposite. Opposite is basically more, they're more or less symmetrical. The branches grow out opposite of each other, kind of like how human arms work. Alternating is like on alternating sides, so one branch will go on the one side, then the other, and the ginkgos are alternating branching. This picture is actually taken in North America, but they're native to Eastern Asia, with one living species left, the ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo is a genus. That's where the name kind of comes from. And these trees are dioecious, so either male or female. A lot of plants that, especially like the flowering ones, are a mix of both. So the flowering plants like strawberries, apple trees, the flowers that really attract bees and butterflies tend to be both. Um, the ginkgo trees, when they have seeds, not exactly fruits, but they're similar to fruits. The difference is that seeds are simply fleshy coat have a fleshy coating covering. They're really super sticky and they smell. Their female trees are not popular as a result. So just to warn you though, if you're considering buying a ginkgo tree because you like how they look, be careful because when you buy a male ginkgo tree, they can turn to female. They can go to female, and female trees can go back to male. But they're still dioecious. Okay, there'll be a point to this at the end of this section. Yeah, that sounded good. Okay, if the different phylum, you have the monophyletic groups, that are basically like including birds with reptiles. You have paraphyletic groups, which is like you have the entire reptile group and you're not including birds with them. Then you have polyphyletic groups, which is like, well, you're not including birds or you're just basically nitpicking. It's basically monophyletic or not monophyletic, which is the important part. And trees are not monophyletic. They basically evolved. There's a lot of convergent evolution, just like with birds and insects with flight. I mean, everything's related to the point, but in order for it to be monophyletic, you have to really have to include everything. This also means that modern ginkgos are not primitive. They're still evolving. They just split from modern plants earlier than certain things evolved from plants, such as the flowers that attract bees. If you look at these groups, if there would be a branch that just stops, that's because they're all extinct. Think of non-avian dinosaurs, for example. See this is a decent Triassic map that shows where modern continents have been put at this time. Ginkgos have been confirmed with fossils to be around. This is when they first really started showing up. I'd say that with one caveat. There's been phylogenetic studies that suggest that even before this period, which was the Permian period, we should be able to find ginkgo fossils. Okay, the oversimplification of phylogenetics, it's basically the connection between genetic material and evolution. The TLDR is the more genetically different the species are, or the genus, whatever the taxonomic level is, the further apart they are, evolutionarily speaking. There is really a lot of science. You can get into the details of this, but, and I think I've probably said this before, but if fossils are found in the Permian after making this video, then just be more evidence of confirming the phylogenetic model that we have right now. Uh, Shout out to Crash Course, by the way. They have a great video about some phy- phylogenies. I don't know how the basic of how that worked. You guys really helped me out in my undergrad. Um, I recommend checking out the channel. They have other stuff like philosophies. So they have more than just biology, evolution, stuff like that. Okay, now that tastes like glue. Anybody else taste that? Anyways, notice that there is no polar ice at this point in time. We have no strong, we have no evidence of really strong swings of temperature in the Triassic. We do have evidence of stuff like monsoons, more desert areas, areas more wet than others. Earth would have been very tropical overall by today's standards. And I know a few of you watching this love the heat, love the tropics, love summer. Just to make you jealous, I want to point out mosquitoes aren't even a thing yet. However, this is really the age of reptiles, so we're talking about the early lizards, crocodilians, tauturas, turtles have either evolved by now or are around. For you flyers out there, we have pterosaurs. For you fishy humans, we have ichthyosaurs, which kind of a reminder are a mix. Our reptiles are a mix between a fish and a dolphin. Have evolved. The long neck plesiosaurs, again for the swimmers. They were around, but they were still very small. They didn't really get big until later. And when I say we have ginkgo fossils, I'm not talking about a couple. I'm talking about a lot of ginkgo fossils. That's due to two things. One, the conditions that the leaves were in were better for fossilization, but it's also really also because that the leaves are tough. They might have been great for fiber, maybe even today, but I wouldn't eat them personally. The leaves are very resinous and have very thick cuticles. If you hold onto a ginkgo leaf, they feel tough. This will make them easier to fossilize than, let's say, slugs. So, what ate ginkgos in the Triassic? I'm not 100% sure. I didn't find much on this on the research. It's probably hard to tell because this was a long time ago. So, there are a lot of hypotheses out there, but nothing really that solid I could find. And nobody from the Triassic is responding to my calls or responding to my emails, which is kind of rude. So here's some herbivores from this period. The first herbivore on the list is Rhynchosaurus. This is actually a therapsid. Therapsids are reptiles that eventually evolved to become mammals. They came in a whole bunch of therapsids came in all different shapes and sizes, so they all didn't look like this. Rhynchosaurus, this was the general body plan. There's a lot of differences between different species, and they were very, very common at this point in time. This is an adiosaur. They were another common omnivore at the time. Okay, I'm supposed to be talking about the Adiosaurus, but my computer is really not happy with me right now, so the fan's going crazy on that little laptop. Little fourth wall break, by the way. If you can hear it, I apologize. Hopefully the microphone doesn't pick it up. But this is an Adiosaur. They're another common omnivore at the time. These are close relatives, answers even, to crocodilians. Uh, Again, they came in different shapes and sizes, mostly with this general layout, especially with the heavy armor. I love them. They're cute. They're adorable. I mean, but so they're not really that tall, so they probably ate the herbivores. Ones probably either eat the fruits or they probably ate ate the saplings. The fossils of these armored babies have been found on every continent except Gondwana, which is modern Antarctica and Australia. And you can't really blame them because both continents are probably avoided by humans due to either extreme weather or the local fauna that lives there. All right, we have our first dinosaur. This is a Plateosaurus. Well, the other herbivores I told you about may have eaten young ginkgos. Basically, the parts they could reach are the seeds from the fruits. The Plateosaurus clearly been able to reach higher into the trees, kind of to the equivalent of modern day giraffes. All right, thank you for your attention. Thank you for watching this to the end. Do not forget to press the things, leave a comment, tell me how to do gooder at this, hop on Discord, again, link below, and help bully my daddy into writing more scripts.